Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sarah, and in today's video I'm going to be taking you to my festival. Today is Tuesday and we are leaving tomorrow. The event starts Thursday. Today I'm going to be working on some stuff. I finished this little Highland cow yesterday just to kind of have a little fun, and also never tested the pattern in a smaller yarn type, but I think as you can see it turned out really adorable. This guy's going to go into the stash with all the littler things after I tag it, and he's going to be coming up with us. Today I'm working on a giant cow because I need a black and white one for the table. I mean, I feel like it's a necessity. So I'm going to start the body today and hopefully finish that and then work on it while we drive tomorrow because it's a 3-hour drive to the event. There's plenty of time to crochet on that drive. That is your first update. I gotta go and I'll talk to you soon. Here is the tiny bin. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy in here. I tagged him for 45 so he can stay in here and hang out with all the little ones. And we can go ahead and zip it up. So there's two things I need to work on right now. It's 11 o'clock at night, so I need to do them pretty quickly so that I can go to bed. But I can't close this with one hand. The first thing I need to do is I need to finish packing my black box. So my black box has, I'll show you in a second, but it has signs and just essential stuff in it. I'll close that later. So in this bin, I'm actually going to put it in the black box, and I'm going to put the rest of the signs in here. So these signs I bought at, I believe it was Michael's, and my dad dressed them up for me because he is awesome. He put some moss and some rocks on them so they hopefully stand up a lot better, and they're pretty cute. So I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to put some paper in here with them as well, and then put the rest of the chalkboard signs in here, or as many that will fit. So I gotta do that, and then the next thing I have to do is I need to pick projects for on the road. I'm gonna need to plan yarn. There's no craft stores there, so I will have to make sure I bring everything, or I'll just go without. Let's get started on the black box first, because I think that's slightly more important. Here's the bin. I put some papers in here to keep things a little bit more snug, just in case. I think it should be okay, but we shall see. Here's my black bin. I'm trying to see if I can fit this one in there. I'm going to have to do some rearranging. Hopefully I can, otherwise it'll just go on top. But I think I'd prefer it to be in there so everything's nice and snug. So in my bin I have the security safe. So this is the cash. I have paper just in case, spare bins in case I need them, and then underneath are a bunch of signs. Now, not all of those signs are going to go out, but they're with me just in case. And then I have a sticky roller for cleaning any messes, duct tape, scotch tape, which I don't really need, but I'm bringing. Under that I have bags. So these are plastic bags for anyone who purchases stuff and wants a bag. And then I think that's about it. I mean, there's a couple extra things, some pens in here, and which are gonna go in that plastic bin. And then I have my business cards in there as well. So hopefully I've got everything in here. I actually have to get the rest of my tag stuff, so I gotta put that in here too. So I'm gonna have spare tags and anything to make new tags in here as well. This is kind of like my everything bin. Spare string, just in case I need it for anything in general. It's also my tagging string. And then here I have spare tags. So they're just gonna go right in here. Be nice and snug. There we go. I think this bin is all set, but I'm gonna go through and make sure I got everything first, and then seal it up and we'll be ready to go. I think I have my thoughts in order. So in this bin in this bag I have safety eyes and stuff for embroidering eyes in case I decide to do that. And then in these other two bags I have some Skinny Chanel Petite Pearl, and I'm planning to make some mini willows similar to the green one I made. I'm going to be making a brown one and a pink one, and I might get to a red one. And then in this bag I have some Chanel yarn I bought a while ago and haven't used yet. I think I'm just going to make a really cute full-sized willow with this yarn and just keep it really simple, colors clean and everything, and just make like a really pretty willow. That's to give me a break from the Skinny Chanel if I want to. There's no guarantee I'll work on any of this, but I'm bringing it just in case. And then in my crochet kit I have my scissors, of course, and then a bunch of crochet hooks in all the different sizes, sewing needles underneath, and then stitch markers. So I'm pretty much all set for this trip. I will also be bringing a giant bag of stuffing with me. It should fit. It can really squish anywhere, so it should be fine in the car. Oh, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to work on this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to work on this cow to finish all the body parts today, which I'm pretty proud of that. And I'm going to sew it all together on the car ride tomorrow. Sorry for the bag noises. I'm going to sew it all together on the car ride tomorrow when we're going to the event, because it's a 3-hour drive. That is all the projects I'm bringing. Hopefully I'll be able to get to them all. You know what? That's probably not true. Hopefully I don't have to work on these at all and the event is so busy I can't sit down and crochet. That's kind of what I want anyways. But other than that, I think I'm ready to go and I'm going to hit the sack. It is too late. I need to go to bed. So I'm going to do that and I might see you in the morning. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Okay? I'll see you soon. So we made it to the hotel and it was an interesting drive. I'm talking quietly so my dad doesn't think I'm crazy. Hopefully you can't hear me. I'm currently working on a willow because I feel like I need to go back to something that I really love making, and willow is one of them. So I'm going to be making a flowery willow. I'm not quite sure what's happening with the lighting. There we go. And it's so far turning out really pretty. I'm going to keep working on this tonight and then I will see you guys in the morning. I'm going to try to remember to get before and after clips of every day. We went in today and we set up the table and the grid wall and everything, and then that's about it. Tomorrow we'll put all the inventory out and we'll see how much I can actually put out. We shall see. But hopefully I'll see you in the morning. We've got to wake up early and get there on time. So I'm going to go and get some good sleep tonight, hopefully. It is the end of day 2 at the event. Technically, it's day 1 actually. Yesterday was set up, so it doesn't count. I'm back at the hotel, which I think I already said, but I'm super tired, so please bear with me. I'm gonna work on this willow a little bit before bed, but today I worked on this willow. It's a little wood willow. Look at his little feet. I just love it. I think I might take this guy home with me and give him some leaves, or maybe I'll put him on the table and see if anyone wants him as is. But he's fully finished besides that. There's just no extra stuff. Today was painful how slow it was. It wasn't too bad, but for some part. The event is a full 11 hours, so from 8 in the morning when we got there to 7 p.m. when we left. So it is a very long, very full day, and it's actually the same for the next 2 days. So it's gonna be really rough. But today was Thursday, so that affects sales, and then kids are in school. Payday is supposedly tomorrow, so if that's the case, then hopefully people will just flood right in, and they'll flood in Saturday as well. I met a couple crocheters and it was a really nice experience to meet them and actually have the time to talk to them as well. When you're super busy, you don't have a lot of time to talk to people, so it was nice to have that. There's another crochet vendor there. She carries similar stuff to me, not quite the same, and I actually purchased something from her. I purchased this little fish to go on my shelf with the rest of my collection. I only have 3 things there, counting this one, so it's not really much of a collection right now, but this beautiful purple fish is going to go on that shelf. This is the business name. They were super sweet, super nice. They came by my booth, I came by theirs, and we just hit it off. So I really enjoyed meeting them. It seemed like they were doing pretty well today. And then another crocheter I met, she does smaller events in the area, and so we just talked a bunch of crochet stuff, tips and stuff, especially since she's not likely to be vendoring at the places that I'll be vendoring. So it was just a really nice conversation with those two people. For sales today, I sold 30 items, 14 through card and 16 through cash. I actually sold 2 giant cows, which was shocking, but very exciting, and I think it's pretty promising for tomorrow and Saturday. Hopefully we'll sell basically all the big stuff. I'd like the ability to make some more, so that would be really nice. But minis were of course the hit. Let's see, we have 16 minis sold. They were the best seller today, and hopefully they'll still sell well tomorrow. We actually, for the first time, left our stuff in the event venue. Normally I would clear down and take the stuff with me, leave the shelves and stuff, because who cares about that. But for this event, I decided to just cover things with some tablecloths in case we get there a little late in the morning, and then we left it. So we took some photos of before. Hopefully nothing gets snatched. I've had things stolen in the past. I don't necessarily think everyone has to deal with it, but these larger events, people will swipe stuff, especially if you have smaller stuff. So we'll see about it in the morning. Hopefully everything is still there, and it should be. They cleared everyone out of the building and they started locking doors when we left, so that's why I was comfortable leaving my stuff there. Just saying a little prayer and hoping that it stays safe. That is your update. Today went pretty well. Definitely some really slow parts. I have some high hopes for tomorrow. Hopefully they will be met and we will have a good day tomorrow. And I had some fun crocheting this. I think this willow shows you how slow today was, because I managed to finish this entire thing. It was literally nothing from this morning, and I finished it while we were at the event. This is a long pattern, especially with the new sewing that I was trying out, so you know, it's kind of lame. I'm hoping tomorrow I won't be able to crochet a thing. We're gonna see. Maybe in the morning, and then the afternoon I'll pick up. That's all I want. But I will check in with you tomorrow, and I'll of course film the booth, see if there's any changes. Currently the booth is 2 separate tables parallel with each other, which is a little strange of a setup, but there's not a lot of space because of the place we're at. We're like in the middle, so we have 2 rows of vendors right next to each other, and we're in the middle. It's just not the best place to be, but it is what it is. We're just dealing with it, and that's about it. I will see you later, and that's what we're gonna do. We're back at the hotel, and I don't have any crochet projects to show off, so sorry for this really boring view of this table. Today was better than yesterday, for sure. There were still parts that were painfully slow, really bad. There was a parade going on outside, and basically the entire building cleared out, so that kind of sucked. It was a lot to deal with. It was better than yesterday, so I'm focusing on that. Hopefully that means tomorrow will be also better than today. My brain is a little fried, so I'm sure you can tell. Today sold mostly minis, 35 minis sold. I sold a little dragon, so those are made of the regular Chanel yarn. I sold that fairy dragon that I made a while ago, which was awesome. I really wanted to see her go, and it went to a really nice home. I also sold another large dragon and some obscure stuff, which is good. Cleans up my inventory a little bit. Most popular item besides the minis were the dinos, and the turtles were okay. Overall, not very many sales in general, so it is what it is. Let's see, I sold one lovey today, which I'm happy about, the Chick Lovely, and then those 4 skinny Chanel axolotls I have. I sold all 4 of them to the same person, which was awesome. Those were my favorite rendition of the axolotls, so to have it sell to someone was into the same person. It was great. I absolutely love seeing that. Yeah, all in all, there's not really any best sellers besides the minis. Everything else, it was 1 or 2 or 3 items sold, so I will definitely check in with you tomorrow again, and I'll make sure to get some clips of the table. Hopefully I did that today. I don't even remember anymore. All in all, this event is a little disappointing, but I am learning lots of lessons, which I'll share with you later when I'm back home. I have plenty of stories to tell already, so I'm excited to tell you them. And I've got to go to bed, so that's what I'm gonna go do now. Here is all of my stuff unpacked and packed into plastic bins. Now, if you've been watching my channel long, you're probably wondering why they're in plastic bins and not in those cloth bags that I have. Well, I'm actually going to be storing these plushies in my attic until my next event, which is in April, at the end of April. So, to keep them nice and safe away from dust and things that can chew it, I have put them in here. And I'm going to make sure they're nice and sealed before I go up there. Also later today, I'm going to get 2 more bins for the extra stuff on top, all my large stuff, and pack those up as well. My next event is at the end of April. It's the event I went to at the beginning of this year. I got an email from them during this event where we just came home from, and I felt like that was a very good sign. So I'm going to sign up today, pay the very expensive $400 booth fee, but then I will be set. We're also planning on getting a hotel for that event as well in case anything happens. It is a pretty long drive. I think it's like 1 hour and 20 minutes. So coming home every night was really hard on us at the beginning of this year. So we're just gonna avoid all that and get a hotel instead. And I plan to build up the inventory, double if not triple this, and just really go crazy with the amount of stuff we bring. For the larger plushies, I sold that fairy dragon I had. I'll put it up on the screen if I can find a photo. I sold the orange carnival cow that I had. It was my favorite. My dad hated it, so it's just ironic it sold first. And then I sold the other Highland cow, so I have the brown one down here. I sold the orangey brown one at the event, same day as that I sold the first cow. So I'm going to be remaking a couple cows, maybe another black and white one, we'll see, just to have 2 of them. I honestly expected this guy to sell and he didn't, but there were a lot of people who were really interested in him, and I say him and it's got utters, her, and this brown one here. People were really interested in this one too, which I thought was interesting. Side by side, I'm not sure which one looked better. I sold the blue willow. I sold that to my booth neighbor. She was so nice. She bought it on the last day, right before closing. I'm just very grateful that she purchased one, and it was such an amazing person who did purchase one. She really liked my work, so that is always a confidence boost. This willow is my pride and joy. I mean, she was a labor of love putting the pattern together and getting testers and everything, and then making them over and over again is just my favorite thing. So it's always nice to have someone who really truly appreciates the willow. I'm going to go ahead and start crocheting, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about some things. We're going to break down the event a little bit, talk about things that sold, things that were popular, my disappointments, because there are some. This event wasn't as great as I wanted it to be, but it was decent enough, and we're going to get right into that in just a second. But first I gotta set up our crochet station. finally the crochet station is set up. Today I'm going to be making a bunch of these little monsters. So I found these eyeballs at Walmart. We were just walking by the Halloween section to check out and we saw these. My dad had an amazing creative idea, so we bought a bunch and now I'm making little monsters and they make sounds, which is super cool. I'm experimenting around the embroidered mouth and stuff and we'll see. I think I'm going to be releasing this as a free tutorial and a free pattern on my Instagram next weekend, so if you guys are interested in that, definitely let me know in the comments and I will get cracking on that. It's time to release another tutorial. It's been a little while, so I think something simple like this that could be easy for market prep I think is a good idea. And of course we have Willow to keep us company here. She didn't sell, and I'm trying to decide if I should keep her. She is the one project I've made that is my absolute favorite project. And since it didn't sell at this event, I think I'm gonna keep her. I think I might keep her as my mascot, take her with me on these events, but not sell her. We'll see. Haven't quite decided yet. But let's take the subject back to the event and let's talk about what happened Wednesday, October 2nd. And that's when we showed up, claimed our spot, and started to set up. So the event we went to was held in a church, and we left the house at early-ish morning on October 2nd. So that was Wednesday. We drove the 3 hours to the event space. We stopped and had lunch, and it was all good. We actually showed up a few minutes early, which I was pretty proud of. I wasn't sure if the vendor spaces, if they were given as people showed up or if it was preset. We had not a ton of communication with the event coordinator on that part, so I didn't really know what to expect. That's why we decided to show up a bit earlier, or just on time was the goal. So we got there, we showed up, we looked around at the church building where the craft show was being held. We were like, this is kind of a weird place. It's not very big. There's nothing, nobody here, and it's not very nice over here. There's some interesting people around, and we kind of went back and forth and we decided to leave. We figured maybe we either showed up too early or maybe we even got the event space wrong. I know, of course, there's always that little voice in the back of your head. What if you have the date wrong and you came early or late? Which didn't happen. Well, we found out that we actually had the wrong church because I didn't realize how many churches were in the area until you're looking for the one church you need. So there were, I don't know, 6+ churches, and I went to the website for the event and I found the actual church and then found the address, and then we were finally there. Took us like 20 minutes to figure out where we were supposed to be, and then when we got there, there were plenty of people and there was a sign and everything, so obviously we were at the wrong church to begin with. When we came inside, we found our spot, and honestly I was a little disappointed because the spot was in the middle of the aisle, facing away from the door, the front entrance where people were going to be coming in. And we were actually blocked by another vendor who was sitting in the corner from us. They had this huge wooden wall, which was really cool, but it totally obscured us from the front entrance. And I don't think that affected sales very much, simply because the room wasn't very big. People were able to walk around easily. It was just something that bothered me day one of setup. You have to roll the punches. We were served a spot. I even asked if we could move, and he said there was no way we could move it, and that's totally fine. We set up there. I didn't really like the setup. We actually put 2 tables parallel to each other, a 6-foot table and an 8-foot table, simply because there was no room in the middle aisle for us to do the full U that I wanted to do with any seating space left over. We also wouldn't have been able to get out of our booth very easily. There was a space behind us where we could have left, but if anyone ever needed anything, we would have to go all the way around, and there was a whole nother vendor on our left, so we'd have to walk all the way around them to get around, and it opens us up to things being stolen more. I went through the inventory and everything, and I didn't see anything missing that wasn't already accounted for. I did forget to write some things down, which we'll get into a little bit later, though it was okay. We built the grid wall, put the tablecloths up, and then we left that day. We didn't put any merchandise out first day, and we decided to go and get the hotel. I think we did some shopping that day as well. Got a few things that we forgot at the house, like paper towels and stuff, really basic stuff. We went to the hotel, claimed the hotel, and you know, the hotel was okay. There was definitely some smokers in the building and no way to open the windows. I remember waking up with a sore throat for the first 2 days. The third day wasn't nearly as bad, but I did come home with a sore throat, and I think that's just dehydration related, not drinking as much because you're talking more than you normally would. And I say you, but I'm talking about me. I don't normally smile for as long. 11-hour days was very difficult. That was the end of setup day. So let's go ahead and move on to October 3rd, or Thursday, which was the first day of the event. So October 3rd was our least successful day. There weren't a lot of people, there were a lot of lulls in the crowd. People didn't really show up as much, and you know, it's to be expected. Thursdays, kids are still in school. It wasn't payday yet. Payday was just about to happen on Friday. Anyone who came in wasn't necessarily looking to purchase anything. But October 3rd, I actually sold 2 extra large plushies, which was awesome. I sold my extra large cow that was actually made out of this color, funnily enough. My personal favorite cow. And then after that extra large cow, I sold my extra large Highland cow. It was the orangey brown one. That was really awesome to sell 2 giant plushies day one. It gave me hope for the next days. People definitely were willing to spend money at the event. There just wasn't as many people as I was hoping or even expecting. Day one, I sold a total of 31 items, and 20 of those were minis, and I only sold 11 normal items, which is kind of sad saying it out loud because I brought a ton of stuff. I definitely need to get a total item count and see what percentage of items I actually sold. Day one of the event, so October 3rd, it was okay. It covered the booth fee. It didn't cover the hotel, which is what I was really hoping it would do. I was really hoping that day one would cover all expenses and then profit for the next 2 days, but that didn't happen. And you know what, we still made a decent profit. It's just the expenses for this event are very high because we have a hotel, we have to pay for gas, we have to get food. So that's the end of October 3rd. It was a decent day, wasn't the greatest day, but we still made some money. The next day was October 4th, or Friday. Friday was much more successful than Thursday. We made twice as much sales. We made 61 sales versus October 3rd, where we sold 30. We sold 35 minis that day and 26 regular sales. We did pretty well. We doubled our profit that day, doubled our actual sales. That day we had lots of fun interactions, met some nice people, sold some things to some really nice people, so it was very nice to see that. All in all, for this event, I'd say we didn't meet very many rude people. The few that were there, the good amount of people, the people who really came up with their eyes glittering, just a huge smile, those people outweighed any bad that could have happened. So we definitely paid for expenses on Friday, covered the expenses for the hotel, gas, and food. Probably spent a little bit more than we should have or could have, but it was worth the expenses. If you are like me and you don't have a full-time job or you're not standing all the time, definitely be prepared for your feet to hurt really bad after 33 hours of standing, walking, sitting in really uncomfortable chairs because the nice chairs we bought don't fit the event space. So just be prepared for those type of things if you decide to do an event, or if you already do them and you want to upgrade your events to bigger events. We sold my fairy dragon on Friday, which was awesome. I did not expect her to go, and I'm really glad she did. I was very proud of the way the wings turned out for that, but I didn't really love the style of it very much at all, which is why you guys haven't seen me talk about it since the first time I talked about it. It was kind of exciting. That was the first willow style plushie to sell. The girl really loved it. I think she loved the colors more than anything, which I did too. I love that purple color it was made out of. We also sold my pink dragon with hearts on it. I don't know if I have a photo of it, but I'll definitely see if I can hunt one down. She was very pleased with that purchase. I was charging a little bit less for those older dragons than I normally would, just to try and move them along because I wanted to make room for more willows and some more nicely made daisies, which is the dragon that the pink one is my daisy the dragon pattern in my coffee shop. Willows in my coffee shop if any of you are interested. Kind of forget to mention those things. Friday we sold 2 more large plushies. We actually sold the first lovey that day. I think we sold 2 loveys that day, which was nice. A lot of people knew what they were, and it seemed like there were other people who were selling them. Apparently the craft fair there were 3 of them total, and we were in just 1 of them, so that didn't really help. I believe there was at least 1 other crocheter in that event space. There was me, there was somebody else in the church who crocheted, and then there was another person as well. It is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and get some new yarn, and we're gonna make another monster, because as you can see, it worked up quite quickly, even while I'm talking and being distracted. We'll get into day 3 of the event, or October 5th, and Saturday. By far the best day. I feel like we need a hot pink monster. I think that is a necessity. On Saturday, we woke up early. Let's start off with that. We woke up earlier than the other 2 days, and we packed up all our stuff at the hotel, packed up the car, and then we headed out to the event space. We went to this really cute donut shop. They were the nicest people ever. She gave us 2 donuts on the house, which is just like, wow, I've never been treated this way in my life. Thank you. And that just made my morning, and it really helped put our day in a positive light, I guess. The donuts were also amazing. So we got our donuts, we had them secured. Then we took our package to the event space and we set up for our last day. So Saturday we actually set up differently than we did on Friday. We actually switched it around Friday night before leaving the event space. We tried to make things a little less chaotic and put things in. So we had big plushies on the top and then the same item smaller underneath. So try and keep the chaos a little bit more contained. I definitely think that a lot of people were overwhelmed by the amount of choices we had, so we have to find some way to sort it out, make it easier to see and take it all in. All in all, this event, I was able to learn quite a few lessons, and also I'm excited to plan out my next event in April. I'm thinking I want to make like a really magical base, just really go crazy. I'm trying to contemplate if a U shape is better than an L shape. The L shape is nice because people can get out, but a U shape is nice because I'll have more space. And since I have a lot more product now, I'm just kind of torn on what I want to lose. But I really want to kind of make it almost like you're walking into a toy store where it's just magical and amazing, and I see the smile on nearly everyone's faces. Some people can be a grouch, but just really see that glitter in people's eyes that I got to see at this event. Not everyone had it, but some people did, and it was just such an amazing thing to witness, that I'm able to bring that much joy to someone simply by having cute things on a shelf for people to look at. I mean, some of these people didn't even buy anything. They were just satisfied with looking, and that's kind of the goal, is to make everyone happy and to spread the light. That's what I really want to do at this next event. Moving back to Saturday. I don't think I sold any large plushies, but I did sell some extra large turtles. They were $40 each, so they're not quite in the extra large category. For those, I was charging $70 to $110. I was interrupted, so I was saying something about extra large plushies. I don't really know anymore. But I also sold a couple more loveys that day as well, which we're kind of having a hard time selling, so I'm not gonna complain too much. We sold a bunch of my littler cows. They were really popular that day, and we finally sold a possum on Friday, and then we sold 2 more on Saturday. And if you haven't watched the rest of my series, I actually made 50 of these possums, expecting people to really, really love them, but they didn't sell very well. And I guess it's kind of a good thing because I am fully prepared, almost fully prepared for my next event where I know for sure the possums are super popular. You know what, it sucks, but at least I don't have to remake 50 of them for the next event unless I decide that I want to bring 100, and then that's crazy though. I don't know, we'll see. We have until the end of April to work on that type of stuff. Let's see, I didn't really sell any bees. I sold one, maybe two. Actually, I think I sold 2 bees. It is what it is. I made 30 of them and expected to sell a bunch more and I didn't. And that's okay. I actually sold those cats, which they didn't get any sales day 1, and then we sold 4 in the next 2 days, which is awesome. That's about half of them. Sold lots of plush turtles over this event. So those are my medium-sized turtles with embroidered eyes. I sold 5 of those out of 18 at those little axolotls that I have. It's my own pattern. I'm super proud of it. And I sold, let me actually get the paper out. I sold 4 of them, which for, sorry about the keys. Let's see if I can talk over them. Please ignore them. They'll stop talking soon. Sold 2 of the blankie turtles, which are my extra large turtles, and I plan to make more of those in some solid colors, some green skin, brown shells kind of thing, and I think those will sell really well. I sold 4 dinos and 4 dragons, so those guys were pretty popular. The most popular item were the cows with 6 sales. The next most popular were the octos. So my little $12 octos, I sold 5 of those. I sold most of my mini creations. I got some mini cows, a unicorn, a elephant, and some sea creatures as well. Those all sold. I plan to make more of those because they sold so well. I was pretty proud of how much people like them. They are a little pricier for their size, I guess you could say. I think a lot of people recognized how nice they were, how high quality they were, which is always the goal. Saturday was our best day. We sold, let's see, we sold 3 more items that day. So, you know, it isn't the greatest. There wasn't the biggest spike between Friday and Saturday. We still sold pretty well on Friday and Saturday. Saturday I sold more regular items, and then on Friday I sold more minis. So Friday I sold 35 minis and Saturday I sold 19 minis. So the minis weren't as popular on Saturday, but I also think people were more willing to spend a bit of money on Saturday. I think it's time that we get into why I didn't do as well as I'd hoped and why my hopes were so high. So my hopes for this event was to make double what I made as my bare minimum, and that did not happen. I actually made a quarter of what my hope was. I don't want to say goal because it's not quite accurate, but my hope for the event, I made probably less than a quarter of what I had hoped to make. There are a couple reasons why. One, we were inside of a church building and it didn't seem like the main attraction of that entire festival was anything to do with craft fairs. I think that the parades they had was what people came for. They had contests and a bunch of other stuff, and I think the craft fairs were an afterthought. What really bugged me about this event was there was no sharing of what the craft fairs had on their Facebook page, and their Facebook page was quite big. There's a lot of people on there following the page, and they never once shared pictures of what's inside the craft fairs or what people were selling. So I think that is part of the problem. It kind of sucks because if they had done some marketing on Facebook day 1, I think we all would have seen better sales, especially with the booth fee being so high. I mean, I paid $180 to be in that space, and I know it's not as high as some spaces, but $180 is a lot to just do one post that the craft fair is up at their event, but not share any photos of what's in the craft fair. I mean, it just makes sense that most people wouldn't even bother to come in, and I don't want to sound like I know everything, so hopefully I'm not coming off that way, but if I were the event coordinator, I definitely would have taken some pictures, and they don't even have to be really good, just so that people know what's inside the building, because most people aren't going to know. From what I understand, most Sorry for blocking the camera. From what I understand, most of the crafters who were selling toys or fun tchotchke stuff weren't there the year before. So I think most people's expectations were that the craft fairs are boring, or they're for like home decor or jewelry and stuff, and not necessarily for kids to look through is really the thing. Because my target audience is college students or high school students, and then also kids, little kids who come up to the booth who whine at their parents, and then they come in and they get something for the kid. That's why I always have so many different options. So if the kid is younger, there's safe stuff for them. But that's also why they needed to do a little bit of advertising on what's actually in the craft fair portion of the event. It also looked like we were off the path for most of this event, so perhaps people just didn't even want to walk over and check out the craft fair. These are just things that I'm going to pay attention to next time. Probably do a little Facebook stalking before picking an event. Now, I would like to say this event was awesome. We met so many amazing people. All the vendors in the event were so nice. They all said good morning when we walked in, and it was great time. The only thing is that if I lived in the area and it wasn't such a long drive and we didn't have to pay for the hotel or food from outside of our home, then it would totally be worth it, especially with all the interactions we had. We met some really amazing people, and the only issue is that because we live so far away, it's just not worth it to go back at this point. I'm gonna see what next year brings and see where we're at, and maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. With there being at least 2 other crocheters, I don't know if I want to get involved again, because what if there's more next time? I'll have spent more money and more expenses, so I don't know. It's just something that I have to think about. All in all, it was a really amazing experience, and I absolutely loved almost every minute of it. The slow times at the festival were hard because there were literally nobody in the building purchasing stuff, and that would go on for like an hour or two before we would have a sale again, and that was a very hard pill to swallow. It was a very tough situation to be in, just sitting there in our really uncomfortable chairs and not making any sales or even just talking to people. All of that would be worth it if we didn't have to pay for a hotel. That's all I gotta say. Those slow moments would definitely be worth it if we were closer, and I really enjoyed meeting all these people. Like I said, there were only a couple rude people, and they were never really talking to me directly. They were talking to their family, and people can have their own opinions. I think it's time to work on another monster, and we'll continue this conversation in just a second. Let's get another color. It's time to make a green monster. I mean, monsters are green. And then we'll need to make a purple one too. All in all, this event was a very nice event. I met a lot of nice people, like I said, and we had a really great time. Obviously, there's going to be negatives for any event you go to, and you just gotta weigh them out and see if it's worth those negatives to come back again. For us, in our current position, it's not worth it to come back. We did make a decent profit. It's just not worth the expenses at this point because things are really expensive and they really add up really fast. So my goal was to cover the expenses and make a large chunk of profit to make all those expenses worth it. For me, we weren't there. It wasn't enough to make it worth it for us to come back. Like I said, if we lived in the area, I would have no issue doing it again. As of this moment, in our current position, it's not worth it to go back. Now, we did meet some amazing people, and I hope that we can stay in contact and become good friends. I mean, I feel like we really bonded over the stress of that event. There is that, and I'm not gonna say this event was horrible. It was a total bust. We didn't make as much as we wanted, because that's not always the point with an event like this, and it wasn't the point for me either. We want to balance that profit with our time, expenses, and that's not to say that it was a total waste of our time. It wasn't. I always want to cover the expenses and then all the experience is worth it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, we had a great time for most of the time. There were some parts we struggled with. We met some really nice people. We shall see where we're at next year. Maybe I'll change my mind and forget all of this stuff and come back again and try it again, but I really haven't decided yet. I want to see how we do at the event I have planned in April, because I do have high hopes for that one. I have been to that one before and we did well, so I'm really hoping that this next time we'll do even better with a better inventory. So for that event, we actually sold out all of my nicest stuff on day 1, and then day 2 we had like my mediocre stuff, and day 3 we had pretty much the dregs of what was left. I realized that this video is probably really long at this point. I don't know how much I'm going to cut out or keep in, but I just really wanted to give you guys an idea of what I was thinking about. I do have to say I was disappointed when I came home Saturday night, but I really think that was the emotion of it all, because I am not used to doing an event this long. I mean, like I said, I've only done it once before, so it was definitely a struggle, and sleeping at the hotel was pretty terrible. That didn't help my opinion of things, but now that I've had a mostly good night's sleep for 2 days, and I mean, I'm still really tired, my feet still hurt, but I have a much better opinion over the event now, and taking a few days to just think about it and accept it. There's nothing I can do to make it more successful at this point. It is what it is. It happened, it occurred. We tried our best. We tried to rearrange the inventory to produce better sales, which I do think contributed because people were able to find what they wanted. I really just think that this event wasn't really for us. I'm kind of just rambling at this point. I just really wanted to talk about this event. I have some really amazing stories. I think the video is probably too long at this point to share them, but maybe I'll share them in my next few videos. I will be starting another market vlog series. It's gonna focus on my new patterns. I'm planning to release some new styles for my next event. That way when I come to it, I'll have new stuff along with some of the same stuff I had last time. That way people can pick new stuff if they purchase something, or get the same thing if they want to. That is how my event went. I know it's not as good as we were all expecting it to go. It is what it is. Like I said, you have to just accept it as it is. You can't make it any better once it's already happened. You could choose to be positive, or you could choose to be down about it. I'm going to choose to be positive about it and gripe about it a little bit with my friends and family, but I will definitely not do that with you guys. If I think about the good, I realize that it is way better than the bad parts, and we just really had a great time. So, and it was nice to get out of the house because I'm really much like a hermit right now, and meet some people, talk with people. It was a great time, and I am very, very grateful that we had the opportunity to do it. I will accept the loss. It's not really even a loss either. It's just it wasn't even a waste of our time. It was just, we're back to where we started, and that is perfectly fine. The scariest part is going to an event and not earning back your expenses and being in a loss. We are not in a loss. We have enough to cover for the booth fee for my next event, and I'm very, very grateful that we had this opportunity to do it. I will definitely try and keep my expectations more in line for future events. I was really hopeful because the festival is a really large event for the area. We just weren't in the right place for our stuff, and that's okay. I will take it and we'll move on. Let's go ahead and finish up this monster, and then we will close out the video. I do have one last thing to show you once this monster is finished though, and it's super cute and I can't wait to show it to you. I think I already showed it off once, but I'm gonna put it where it belongs. So up here is my shelf of other people's items. I have Very Tiny Designs Little Chicken, and I have my good friend Big Pile of Crafts Dragon, and some yarn that will find a place in the future. But I got something from Crafty Cousins Co. They were a fellow vendor at the event I went to, and I decided to get something from them. This is their business card. It's super cute, and then their socials are there, so you can go ahead and check them out if you want to. But let me show you what I got from them. I got this little fish, and it's so cute. I don't know why it's not focusing, but it's my favorite color, purple of course. It is super cute, and he's gonna go up here just there for now so he doesn't fall off, and in the future I'll probably try and find a better place for everything. But since we only have 3 items on this shelf, we'll just start there. But look at how cute that is. All set up. I really appreciate meeting them. We were such great people, and I love supporting my fellow crocheters. So it was just a win-win all around. Here are my little monsters. I need to give the rest of them mouths, but they're all finished and they're all ready to go. So I just need to embroider their mouths, which I'll do later. And I was thinking of experimenting, maybe putting some noses on them instead. I don't know if that's weird or not. I'd have to see and experiment a little bit. These guys are all finished. I think I need to clean my camera lens. I think that's why it's having issues. Give me a second. I don't know if that's gonna help, but I want to thank you all so much for watching to the end of this video. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I know this event didn't go the way I wanted it to, and I'm sure you guys were hoping for a better outcome too. But I do have to say that all the experience I had, I am incredibly grateful for them, and things happen, bad or good, and sometimes you just have to take it as it is. Focus on the positive too. It's important to do that, because if you just focus on the negative, then you'll just be beating yourself up for nothing. I am very grateful for everything that has happened, and I'm hoping the next event will be better. I already know it's going to be better. I just hope it'll be even better than the first time I went there. I will be starting a new market prep series very shortly here. Probably gonna start posting some tutorials again as well to go with them, and then we'll just see what happens. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that I will start releasing some new patterns here shortly, new styles and designs, which I'm really excited for. Just keep an eye out for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to leave a comment if you want to, of course. No pressure at all. Like the video if you liked it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!